So hi, Wonderful Noise Podcast. I'm Shane,
I'm Glory.
and we're here with. And we have some questions to say about the upcoming album Slow Burn. So congrats on that. By the way, how do you feel about the
Thank
response
you.
to the announcement so far?
We're super excited. It's obviously been quite a while since our debut, which is in 2015. So we're very antsy to release it because we've been sitting on some of these songs for a couple of years. So we're ready. We've been ready.
Hell yeah, the album rocks, and
Thanks.
congratulations on having the patience waiting that long.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Album is fucking incredible. I just want to say Afterthought.wav. Fucking
Oh.
incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, thank you. That's actually one of my favorites, and it's quite funny because that one was a little bit different because we wrote the instrumental and then we wrote the vocals afterwards, and
Mm.
then it took a while to get like a release date and everything for our album. So we actually ended up completely redoing the instruments after. So it kind of had this like weird three-stage process.
Oh shit. Oh my God.
Yeah. So we do have like a completely different version of it, which I would like to release, as like a bonus, maybe one
Mhm.
day.
That would be definitely welcomed with open arms from me.
Yeah.
100%. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
So slow burn, um, the way that, and I think it's different for all the girls, but for me, slow burn, it kind of goes into what I just said, that we've been waiting to release it for quite a while. Like all these songs, they've been like slow burn, and I know some of the girls they like the title because they think like it. Well, not to like toot our own horn, but we love all the songs, so we feel like it's a nice slow burn because everything's good.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Fair enough. And
Yeah.
anything about the cover art?
Mhm.
So the cover art, we always in recent releases we've had like a silhouette of a girl. We've done that for like Atonement and Paralyzed and others. And the girl, of course, has like the flames behind her for the slow burn. But she also has like a locket on her neck, like a padlock. And that kind of ties into our first album because the first album was a key. So it's kind of like there's a little bit of a connection there.
All right.
Interesting. So is this just like
Mhm.
a theme, just kind of tying all your albums together, or is this kind of like a character?
It's like a theme. It's a theme. It isn't a specific person yet.
Mhm. Oh,
But no, none of the girl doesn't really look like any of us. I feel like the Atonement, I've always said the girl that's in the Atonement single art looks a little bit like Kristen, but it's always very small and very
All right.
silhouetted.
Yeah.
yeah, it makes sense. Okay.
So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for this album?
So usually when what we do when it comes to writing, well, I guess we started writing the album around like 2017, 2018 because we had a little bit of a hiatus. We had some changes in members. So that's when it began. And usually what happens, because we're all from different states and even different countries, me and Kristen, the other guitarist, live in Michigan. And then Sam, our drummer, lives in Montreal in Canada. Our screamer, Janelle, lives in Texas. And then our singer lives in Colorado. So usually what happens, me and Kristen will get together. Kristen's usually the catalyst of all the songwriting. She'll come up with an idea and like a chord progression, and we'll get together, hash out some instrumentals with our producers, and then kind of send it to the girls, and then there'll be some finishing touches with the lyrics and the vocal melodies.
All right.
Okay.
And you had mentioned
Mhm.
at the beginning of the interview with Afterthought that it
Mhm.
was like there's multiple different versions of that song, and since
Mhm.
the writing process for this album, was so long,
Mhm.
was that the case for most of the songs, or was that like a one off with the rewrites?
So there was one other song we did that with, and that was with Playing with Fire. The instruments used to be completely different. We wrote the vocals to it, and then we ended up rewriting it.
Mhm.
And then Only Girl, near the end of the album, Kristen originally wrote that acoustic guitar and vocals first of all, and then we added we made it more into like a full band format after the fact.
Okay, so
Oh.
like with there being so much time, between the start and the end, there wasn't a lot of like you guys going back and kind of like mulling over it. It was like once the song was done, you left it.
Yes, yeah, there was probably about a handful of songs on the album were recorded for the album, probably, I think it was like 2020 or 2021. So they have been sitting for a while. Basically what happened, we signed with our current label, Mascot, and we had an album full of songs, but they wanted a couple more to put on there. So we collaborated with some co-writers, and then we finally got the finished product.
All right, makes sense.
So what song off this album took the longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
So the longest to write, I would probably say, if we're just talking about like time, like over months or years, it would be Afterthought. Sorry, I keep looking because I have the list of all the songs on my on my wall. So Afterthought, because we did rehash it, the same with Playing with Fire. Those probably took the longest time-wise to finish. But when it comes to writing vocals and writing choruses, I think System Failure took quite a while, because that was one when we were all in the studio together, we were still trying to write the chorus. So that was one that was a little bit tricky. We had everything else, but the chorus required us to write it in the studio, which we try not to do because we like to have like a really strong idea or everything hashed out before we record. But yeah, that one probably took the longest.
All right. And your personal favorite?
It's so hard because I like honestly most of them. I really like, I guess I can split it into categories. If we're thinking of like heavy songs, I really like Afterthought. And then if it's a more mid-range song, I really like Wide Awake as well.
Sounds good.
And Pressure. I like a lot of them.
That's good.
Which makes it easy. Yeah, it makes it easier. I definitely have some favorites like Pressure, Wide Awake, and Afterthought. So I'm excited to have those out in the world.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
So how'd the track list for the album come about? Did you guys write the opener be the opener, closer be a closer? Did you shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
We definitely had a discussion about it because we wanted there to be a nice like what did I say? Like a journey from start to finish. But we also wanted to space out our release singles for the album. So the singles that are being released or have been released are going to be Atonement, Paralyzed, Welcome to Paradise, The Invisible, and New Heaven and System Failure. So it's actually 7 of them. Oh, that's quite a lot, actually. I didn't realize it was so many. So we tried to space them out when it came to putting the songs in order. It was really easy to decide the opening track, Atonement. We've already had that one released for a while. And I think we chose that because the opening line for that song is "We Are Not the Same." So that's a nice one to open with. And then Gatekeeper, the one that closes the album, is very epic, and it kind of touches on our experience being women in the industry. And it's just all our epic songs. So we decided to end with that. But then we tried to like trickle the singles out. So like we have New Heaven at the start, which is going to be released at the end of July. And then, for example, The Invisibles on the back half. Because we didn't want to do like all of our strongest songs at the very, very beginning. And then the back of the album be a flop. And then we also wanted to make sure that it's not all too many heavy songs together. We tried to like contrast it. So do like a lighter song followed by a heavy song followed by a lighter song. There was quite a lot of thought behind it, actually. Yeah.
I appreciate that you guys didn't just front load it with all the bangers. That. Yeah.
And there are. I think it was hard because there are some songs that we personally feel are very strong, but they didn't make it as singles. So personally, I really like Pressure and Wide Awake, and we spaced those two out as well because we knew those wouldn't be the singles for the album, but we wanted them to be in there.
Makes sense.
And how
Mhm.
did you guys go about choosing the singles for this album? Because those are your choices, but they didn't make it. You said so that kind of stinks.
Well, so it isn't all of our choice. So the label picked some of them as well.
Mm.
But we definitely had favorites. The nice thing about our label, because we're always really concerned whenever we sign with a new team, like a new label, we're always concerned about them being like, we don't want the screams anymore. Because when we
Mm.
were shopping around for labels with the new album back in like 2019, 2020, we were reaching out to people, and there would be to different labels, and they would say, oh yeah, we're not signing anyone with screams right now, because they want to have, like, the more to they want to be able to push the radio because it makes money,
Ah,
and like less screams on the radio is pretty normal. But I feel like the music industry has kind of taken a little bit of a turn in more recent years, like 2020 onwards, and now we're coming back to screams again.
Yeah.
So we were concerned when we signed with the label, because Mascot, it's more rock orientated, so we were a little bit wary, but they pretty much told us like, hey, like, you can have whatever you want on the album. We just want X amount of songs that we can push to radio, but the rest can be your choice. And when they chose Welcome to Paradise as the first single after the album announcement, we were like, whoa, you want that one? That one's a really heavy one. And we were pleasantly surprised by that, because that was one of our picks, but we were pleasantly surprised when the label chose that one.
that's awesome.
Oh yeah.
And I'm
Hmm.
so happy to hear that you guys found just a home for you guys to be able to still scream, because the
Yeah.
screams on this fucking record are
Hmm.
insane. So that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
Janelle is awesome, and it's kind of cool because in this album she does have some singing parts as well in Over It and System Failure. So
Mm.
that's like new territory for her. So that's going to be really fun. So
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
That should be
Uh-huh.
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, because she's a good singer as well. So we want to, and she has like a bit more of a grittier voice than Kia does. So when they like sing back to back, it's actually kind of cool. Like there's a nice contrast.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Fucking love
Hmm.
it. I love it.
Yeah.
So would you be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating this record?
Mhm. So when I feel like, because Kristen does a lot of the lyric writing, so I can say that what she wants to do is kind of mature I think mature the things that we spoke about, because a lot of the first album was kind of like, it was directed towards people, or like, oh, people like friends like stabbing you in the back, like it's very
Mm.
didn't really talk about much else bigger than that. It was just all like emotions. Whereas this album, we've kind of touched on. We've been inspired by like climate change and things like that, and like the world around us. So we've kind of grown a little bit there, and that was definitely intentional. We wanted to branch out when it came to the lyric writing,
Mm.
and then we definitely wanted to it was kind of like a balancing act, because we were trying to go somewhere new, but also keep the style that we had in the first record, where we have like the screams and the singing part. So we definitely wanted to have really heavy stuff, really light stuff, and then stuff in the middle.
All right, makes
Makes
sense.
sense.
So,
Balance.
so yeah, exactly. So, and that was pretty much it. We wanted to mature and kind of explore different areas, like maybe a bit more electronics.
Mm.
And I feel like on this album, Kia's voice has got really, really, she's a really strong singer now, and her voice is really matured, and it sounds great. She's my favorite vocalist, which is nice because she's in my band. So
Oh, yeah,
that's
that's
handy.
good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should do in the car with friends and dark with headphones on? Is it a workout album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
I don't really have a preference with that. I mean, it really depends. I like listening to things in the car personally, which I know car speakers aren't great, but that's what I like to do. If you want the best experience, of course, like headphones or really good quality speakers would be good. What's cool, this album we're actually releasing on vinyl as well. So if you're nerdy about like the vinyl players and stuff, that'll be an option as well.
Oh yeah.
Whatever's fun, even if you're playing it on your phone or your phone speaker to your friends, I don't mind. It's, as long as you're playing it, enjoying it, it's cool.
All right.
Okay, that's
That is how
that's
I took
valid.
the album
That's
in.
valid.
So
Yeah. Mhm.
most artists, when I tell them that, are like, "Why the fuck didn't you listen to it on real speakers?" And I'm like, honestly, because I listened to it in bed when I woke up this morning.
Yeah, and it's our producers, they do take that in mind. Like they'll, when they're mixing and stuff, they do have a thought process like, oh yeah, most people are going to be playing it through not high quality devices or speakers, so they do think about that. Because if music is only good if you have like thousands of dollars worth of equipment, then I would say you're doing it wrong personally.
No, you're completely
Yeah.
right for that. That's actually, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Hmm.
So this one should be super, super quick off top of your head. I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words, no more, no less.
Something for everyone.
Oh,
That's good.
damn.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's funny because like that's what we always describe the album as, and I was thinking like, is that 3 words? It is 3 words.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, and like it's like what we've already talked about is because there's some light stuff, there's some ballads, there's some really heavy music, and we were deliberate about it because we want to be able to play. For example, when we're playing live, we want to be able to play with any band eventually. So we want to be able to like cater to the heavier bands if we support them, cater to the lighter bands if we support them, and then also be mid-range as well.
that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the album?
Definitely listen to the lyrics because I feel like a lot of our lyrics are quite self-explanatory. But every song touches on a different subject. So the lyrics are there, they're Kristen and Kia together are great lyric writers. They do awesome job.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, awesome. So are you able to touch on any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of this album, positive or negative?
Definitely the pandemic was pretty hard because we came back. We had our hiatus and then we came back in 2020, just when shit hit the fan. And we recorded our music video and everything for Bad Guy, the cover we did, and Chemicals. And then straight after that, everything shut down. So that was rough. And we were having to coordinate people flying in with like COVID regulations for filming videos like messy and stuff. So that's probably the trickiest part because it just kind of slowed everything down.
Absolutely.
And it was irritating because we had already taken like the hiatus, between like 2017 and 2020, we weren't playing shows. So then we were ready, and then the pandemic hit, and then pushed everything back like another couple of years. So we were like, damn, this sucks.
Yeah, I did notice you guys hit the ground running extremely hard post pandemic. Like you were just ready to get the fuck out there.
Yeah, exactly. We've been ready, and we're excited for this album and what will come of it, and hopefully for album 3, if there is one, I'm hoping there is, it's a much faster process, which I assume it will be because naturally when you're signed to a label they kind of want things a little bit snappier, so it should be faster.
Hoping.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So for this question, we want you to picture you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
I always do like jerky or pickles.
Oh, damn. You're speaking my language.
Yeah, jerky and pickles, and then bottle of water as well. That's it. I used to when I was younger, because when I first started touring with Conquer Divide, I was 21, so that was like 9 years ago. So I used to be able to like eat like crap on tour and then kind of feel okay and it'll just be fine. But now I have to like stick to kind of okay, even though jerky isn't the best thing, but at least a little bit of protein. It's not like Twinkies or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
Crap. I would say something like a burrito bowl or something. because we have all these different elements. You got like the rice, you got the meat and the sauce, and then all the different toppings. And I would say like each member brings their own little flavor to the band, and all together, it's scrumptious.
All right, that's good. I like that.
Scrumptious, fuck yeah.
So for the last couple of questions, we're going to shift completely away from music and go straight to death row.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
I really like curry. I like Thai curry, like coconut milk. Beef curry would be good with some rice. And then a drink. A margarita, why not?
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Right.
But with like 1800 or Patron or Don Julio or something, not like a house margarita.
Oh, okay.
Let's make it top shelf for the last one.
All right.
Fuck yeah. You deserve it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or maybe I don't. If I'm on death row, I probably don't deserve it.
You know,
but
as soon
I'll
as I
have
said
anyway.
it, I was like, oh. What the hell did you do?
The classiest death row out there.
Things are for
Yeah,
real.
exactly.
So if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Let's just say like Harry Potter. I know that's in England or whatever where I'm from, but yeah, magic and stuff is always good.
All right.
What house are you?
I would say Gryffindor. Why not? No, not
Gryffindor?
Yeah,
Okay. Fuck yeah.
yeah,
Gryffindor.
yeah.
You
That's fair.
didn't sound too stoked on Gryffindor.
No.
Well, so I'm saying that because I'm not even a huge Harry Potter fan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, what house would you be?
I'm Hufflepuff.
I have no fucking idea. I'm not a Harry Potter fan either.
He's
I
either like
the Harry.
a
I've
fucking
I've
Gryffindor.
said it because I've never like figured out what I would be. Our singer, Kia would definitely know for sure. She's got like Harry Potter tattoos.
Mhm.
But how do you even figure it out?
They have a test, like an actual like sorting hat test that you could do on the website. I've done it like 5 times. I've tried to
Is it
get
always
fucking
the
like
same?
Gryffindor.
Oh.
Yes, I've tried to get Gryffindor. I always get fucking Hufflepuff, so I'm just kind of fucking stuck with it.
Maybe I should do it after this interview, and I can tell you guys what I actually am because I've never done it before.
Yeah, you definitely should. Please DM us because I have a theory, but
Yes.
I want to know before.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
we'll see.
Hmm.
We'll see.
All right.
I feel like because like my ponytail and like dark, I have like a pointy nose. It's probably gonna be like Slytherin or something.
Ooh, okay.
Just because I look kind of, I feel like maybe I have an evil look.
People, I don't think you look evil.
Gonna be honest, I don't think so.
No,
Thank you
are
very
not.
much. I don't know, but yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it afterwards, and then I can DM you, and then you can edit it. Like, actually, she's this. She lied.
Nice little speech
Or
bubble
maybe
over
I
there.
will be Gryffindor.
I guess we'll
Who
find
knows?
out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I thought of asking the last question. Every single person that we've spoken to have said that it is the most important question. What's your favorite color?
Purple.
Specific shade of purple?
I like kind of like a deep purple. I can show you. I can actually show you what color purple I like
Oh, okay.
Okay.
because I got a guitar that has that kind of color, like this kind of purple.
Oh,
Like kind of
yeah.
like a cool.
Shit.
That
Yeah.
is that is a nice guitar.
It's
Mhm.
currently my favorite color.
Yeah.
Nice.
Badass
All right.
guitar.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh yeah. So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
So if you want to find out how to pre-order or new album Slow Burn, all you have to do is go to our Instagram. There'll be a link in the bio which shows all the links for that. Or you can check out our website, Conquer Divide Official, where we sell merch. And we're everywhere, you know, we're on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Facebook. We're on everything.
Hell yeah.
And then if you guys really like our stuff, we do have a more exclusive Facebook group called Conquer Divide Lit Posting that we all just kind of hang out in and chill with people. So
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
and
that's awesome.
they get news first, so we tend to give people sneak peeks of everything.
All right. Sounds
Awesome.
good. Well, thank you for now. It's been Izzy from Conquer Divide, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.